our city in the fall recently passed a $60 million revenue bond. And that bond actually is being used to fund the construction of our new police headquarters, a fire station, substation, a police substation on our east side of town, and many infrastructure projects and several park facility projects. And you'll get an opportunity to see a presentation on the highlights of some of those projects. But because we have so many projects that we have to have built within the next couple of years, we need the public and the contractor, professional service, and vendor community to help us be able to realize the successful completion of those projects. And because we are aware that Miramar, Broward County, South Florida in general is primarily made up of small businesses, and there will be many small businesses that will be winning the contract for those projects. So, with that in mind, what better thing to do than to open up the doors of Miramar, bring all of our staff, our departments, to be able to let you know specifically what each respective department buys on a regular basis, and if it's one of the projects that's associated with the revenue bond, be able to identify those projects, to let you know a time schedule of when those projects are anticipated to be bidded out. That helps you. That gives you the information that you need to prepare yourself.
Because Broward County means business. And guess what? There's $600 million we're going to be spending this year. Who wants it? All right. I'm going to tell you guys what we do as a small business agency. The Office of Economic and Small Business Development is here to assist you guys. This is what we do. We cater to small businesses. We cater to aspiring entrepreneurs that are willing to at least say, you know what, I'm going to take it to the next step. We are going to hold you by your hands. Sometimes, personally, I will yank you by your ears. Okay, I'm going to put my military background. I know I'm 4'11", but I made it because I was cute. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys that we have a lot of stuff going on. We train entrepreneurs at every level. We provide for export readiness. We have a lot of seminars throughout the year for different countries. You know, in terms of products, import, export, we do international trade. Any like protocol, we're putting a book together to assist you guys whenever you have to go outside so you know how to behave. You know, we truly mean business. So for all the horror stories that you have had in the past, set it aside and just look forward. So what you all gonna do?
Look forward.
I don't wanna hear drama. I don't. And I don't care to hear about it. I want you guys to focus on the positive things that are happening in Broward County. That includes Miramar, that includes all the municipalities. And we also offer certification. E-certification for everyone? Probably no. But I tell you what, I guarantee you come to my office, I will give you an hour. At that time, then you guys get to make your decision whether it's for you or not. And I can tell you right now, I said, you know what? It's time to do training. So we're gonna go ahead and train you guys personally, and along with my, BSO, your Broward County Sheriff, because if you certify with us, that automatically recognize our Broward County certification. Guess who else recognizes the Broward County certification? Miramar does. You see how this works, people? Evolution. That is best. Okay? And also Core Spring. So we are going to be developing more memorandum of understanding with other municipalities to assist you guys grow. So of that $600 million, like last year, I know of all the monies that have been let out, 41% actually was spent in Broward County businesses. That's a lot. That's significant. So, but you know what? To me, I'm not pleased. You know why I'm not pleased? Because I do not like when other people that come and eat out food from our table. Because sometimes small business, you all have issues. No, go ahead and laugh, because I want to laugh. You all have issues. If we send you the information, you are small, you qualify to do the work. I send you an email to remind you. Don't tell me, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't open the email. What does that mean? That's my point. So you guys have to do what you need to do. We cannot spoon feed you at that level. I don't mean to be disrespectful. You understand that, right? But remember, pull in the ear. That's what I'm doing right now. I need you guys to engage and stay engaged. Don't despair. Don't. If you guys are gonna run into a wall, I want you guys to call, Jasmine, I need some help. Have an open mind, because we're here to help you. And I promise, I made some millionaires, and I want you all to be part of my millionaire circle.
If you're a good manager, and I pretend to be, right, what you do is, you really want to look good, you surround yourself with geniuses, right? And they make you look good. That's why I brought Mike. Okay? Lieutenant Colonel retired Mike Bell is probably the best procurement, okay, expert in the state of Florida that we have in the SPDC network. And we have about 30 of them, so that's saying something, right? And it took me 2.5 years to get him to come join my team. All right, and the reason I had him join my team is because this is what we see a lot of. We see somebody that's real good at what she does, whatever that is. Real good at what he does, real good, okay? You ask him, well, what's the financial condition of your business? You know, I'm good at what I do. I bake cakes. I put up drywall. I build houses. My accountant worries about that, right? The problem with business is that once you open one, you stop doing what you're good at, what you like, and you become a business owner. Now your job is run a business. And guess what you also wind up doing? You become a kindergarten teacher because you have employees, right? And employees always have issues, don't they? You get to work every day, they get to work late. Well, guess what? That's why you're the boss and they're the employee. So I use this example, you're amongst like-minded folks here. We know you're crazy, so relax. We know it, we got it, we understand it. Storm came today, look how filled this room is, because you're not afraid of getting wet. This is the difference between entrepreneurs and employees, and you need to understand this because you generally are not married to another entrepreneur. And if you are, you will know that because you're both broke. Two entrepreneurs will go bankrupt very quickly. Hire somebody that marry somebody that tells you, you know what, your head is always in the clouds. You're a visionary. That's what you do. You see things that other people don't see. And what do you call them? They call themselves what? Realistic, but you call them what? Negative, right? You wake up at 3 in the morning and write down your idea. It's like go to sleep and stop it. I have to have my own business. Go back and get the good job at Walmart, right? I'm not working. No, I need to work for myself because there's a difference here. You need to understand that you want to be the captain of the ship, and we get that. If there's a hurricane coming, you want to be holding the wheel. Everybody else is hiding underneath, praying, right? And you're up there, what? Here comes the wave, and I'm going into it, right? But imagine yourself in that situation, and you don't understand how your boat actually works. What does the SPDC do? We don't develop businesses because businesses don't exist. We develop the captain of the ship, whoever she or he is. We want you to be a better sailor. We want you to know that the Bermuda Triangle, you got to do one thing. Out in the open ocean, you got to do another. And it's a full spectrum. And I'm going to lay something on you right now that I want everybody here to relax and just absorb this. Okay? You're here to learn about something. Procurement. You're not going to learn it tonight. Your job tonight is to do one simple thing. Meet 3 people in this room that you can help. We have too many times people come to networking events thinking about what I can get for my business. What can you do for somebody else? See, people feel that spirit. They feel that energy. And if you walk around this room trying to meet 3 people that you can actually help, and I'm talking about 3 of them should be sitting behind that table over there. You know how you help the people in procurement? You know how you help Randy? Don't get him fired because he gave you a contract and you didn't answer your email because of whatever reason. We need you to be good at business because Broward needs you, Miramar needs. I've been working with Miramar. I remember when Wayne, Commissioner Nelson, he started this. First he had an idea and everything, yeah, all right, whatever. Now it's grown. But back in the day, there was us, there was more people at the panel than there were. We could have done this right at the corner over there with a little table. But those businesses that came, are the ones that are getting consistent contracts now with the city and the county and state and federal government level, all right? So what we want to do is, you must develop yourself, and for that, you have to be able to say, listen, I'm not 20, I'm never going to be Michael Jordan. I may like playing basketball, but those days are over. So, what do I got to do? Get myself somebody that is Michael Jordan in the area that I'm not Michael Jordan. And then let me be Michael Jordan in the area that I am. So part of this should be you thinking about how does procurement, how does government contracting or anything else fit your business strategy? How does it help you achieve your defined objectives? And that's what we help you do. Sit down. We got lots of boxes of tissue, so when you start crying, okay, to get into down and dirty, ugly business running stuff that you need to do so that you can go and get these contracts the way you're supposed to, right? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike so he can give you a couple of, maybe some real life stuff about what we do and what we do on a daily basis, all right?
In our SBDC office, there are 8 folks. All of us are old, retired, been there, done that kind of guys like myself. We're all specialists in some field or another. We have a couple of finance guys who could get a loan for the Aflac duck. We have a couple of people who do nothing but startups. We have people who do assistance with websites. We have people who do marketing plans, the business plans. And I'm the least bright of the bunch, so they have me doing government contracting, okay? And my main role is to help all of you be better prepared to become a millionaire at this lady's ballpoint pen. Let me give you an example. I've got a guy who had his records good enough as a business to get business from the federal government. NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, did a deal with him for 65 grand. He's done the deal. It's now time for him to get paid. He's not getting paid because his record was good enough to get a contract, but not precise enough to get paid. So last week I get a call from the contracting officer saying, "You gotta help me out, I love this guy, I wanna give him more business, but the computer won't pay him because his record is screwed up." I'm the guy that unscrews the record. So on Monday, he's gonna get a check for $65,000 because he came by and I showed him what he did wrong in his record. That's what we do. We help businesses who want to do business with the Fed, who want to do business with the state, who want to do business with the county or the city. And if we're matching numbers here, the purchasing budget for the federal government is $923 billion. And the law says that 23% of that has to go to all of you folks. 23% of all purchase dollars that is not associated with debt service or Social Security or wages, 23% of all purchase dollars must go to small business. Every single contract that the Fed lets that's worth less than $150,000 by law must go to a small business. But you have to have all your T's crossed, you have to have all your I's dotted. That's what I'm really, really good at. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm really, really good at it. So if you want to be a superior supplier to these ladies along the wall over here, walk in with all your T's crossed, all your I's dotted, you want them to get that shovel and start throwing money at you because you're going to do a good job for them. How do they know? Because your record looks good. Remember your mama told you, you only get one shot to make a good first impression? You don't want to walk in and see this lady and she says, "Are you registered with us?" And you say, "Registered?" Right? Not a good first impression. So you're all welcome. My business cards are over there in that inobtrusive SBDC sign. Be happy to work with you.
We just heard from 3 excellent resources that can help you structure your business, help you find the means to go after contracts. So my role here tonight is to try and show you how government agencies, Miramar particularly, but also generally, it's pretty consistent across other municipalities within the county and the county agencies, how they award contracts. So I'll move through the real boring bureaucratic stuff that I eat up and my staff eats up. That's what we live for, real boring bureaucratic procedure to really show you how your business can take advantage of contract opportunities that exist. Real basics. What's the difference between private sector purchasing and public sector purchasing? Private sector purchasing is designed to establish long-term contracts that are going to increase the margin of the companies and provide sustainability for the company. So that's long-term relationships. You become very, very deeply connected between the companies. Public sector purchasing is really the opposite. We're stewards of taxpayer dollars. So our requirement from law, state law, federal law, municipal code, is to test the market regularly. Sometimes that, for the folks that are here from the operating departments, they'll tell you they can't stand us because every time they finally get rocking and rolling with a company, we come along and tell them, well, your contract's expiring, we have to bid it back out again. So how do you stay on top of the ball? How do you make sure that you have a good chance of resecuring that contract the next time around? Or if you lose it, how do you stay abreast of what opportunities are coming up so that you can go after new contracts that may become available? So basically the way it works in purchasing, and don't pay attention to the slide, I know it's really busy and annoying, but the point is we start with an end user department. We're a consultant services client department. That's how we work. A department comes to us and says, we need to buy this, we need to buy a good, we need to buy a service, and they come to us and say, how do we do that? How do we follow the rules and get the end result? So they give us a requisition. They tell us, this is what we're looking for. These are the specifications we're looking for. This is the scope of work or the scope of service we're looking for. Help us secure a contract that will provide that to us. There's stakeholders that are involved. They have a stakeholder. They want to make sure that the contractor that they hire, that ultimately gets hired to provide that specification or that good or service, is going to give them what they need so that they can keep their operation running efficiently, successfully, without a hiccup. Managers want to make sure that there's no problems. They want to make sure that you're not, as a contractor, going to come in and give subpar performance, and that we're not going to close doors on contracts that aren't performing well. And then the procurement staff, we have a unique role in this. We really are very hands-off. We don't really care. As long as the contractor meets the minimum qualifications, can do the job well, their references check out, they make it through all of our vetting process, we really don't care who the contractor is. Our job is not to maintain relationships with the contractor as far as performance. It's to try and entice contractors to participate in the process through outreach. So how does all of this work? It works through something at the city or the state or the federal level through a code. There's a code of regulations that the elected officials pass through each governing body that sets up procurement threshold. When does an agency have to go out and get a contract? So if you provide a small commodity, or you have a service that you can provide at an hourly rate that's more of a one-shot, not necessarily a long-term contract, how can you get in the door? How can you get your name on the call list to that department for these thresholds? So for the city, anything under $1,000 doesn't require quotes. And on top of that, the city code, through our governing body, has put in place preferences to try and level the playing field. Your interaction with the government agency, if you're a small business or a local business or a minority-owned business, or up to $2,500, we can award you work without competition as long as you meet those requirements. If it's over $2,500, up to $50,000, the city does some sort of request for quote process, request for proposal process, invitation for bid. Anything over $50,000 requires a governing board or city commission to approve the contract, and we have to go through a formal closed bidding process. So how do you know what's going on in Miramar? If you go to the city's website, www.ci.miramar.fl.us, it's a very cumbersome email address, but if you grab any of the cards from any of the folks around the table, or if you Google Miramar, it's going to be the first thing that pops up. On the procurement page, we have a link to all of the current solicitations that we have open that are formal solicitations. We also have on that page a way to register as a vendor. That's something new. We're finally getting our feet onto the internet. And you can register online as a business with the city. And what that will automatically do, we use something called commodity codes. There's an organization called NIGP, the National Institute of Government Purchasers. And what they do is they have a standardized taxonomy of codes that you can fall into based on the type of service or commodity you sell. So when you register, you'll see this list with all of these different types of services and goods. You select the type of good or service, and then we know, as a registered vendor, when we have our departments or we go out and get quotes, we're going to add you to our call list or to our solicitation list when you sign up on this site. It's the easiest way to get your foot in the door. Another really important thing, whether you're going after a business with the city, whether you're going after business with the county, research the organization. And this is where it really gets into the nuts and bolts of what you can do as a business to get a contract. It's right here. The goods and services you provide. How can you convince us that we need you? One of the things you'll find with government purchasing is that the majority of the contracts we award are standard contracts. Most cities, most municipalities, counties have the same services. We provide water, we provide wastewater, we provide law enforcement, fire protection, we provide capital improvement. So there's run-of-the-mill types of contracts, and with any facility, we have operational needs for facilities. We have janitorial contracts, we have landscaping contracts, we have anything that it takes to run an operation or a facility, just like any private sector company. So right here, think of those goods or services the government needs or wants that you can offer us. So your first piece of homework is to figure out how to get registered with the city or the county. Make sure you're on the list, make sure you're on the call list, make sure you're on the bid list. The second thing you can do is figure out how to position yourself so that when we go out and look for those contracts or those services, you can provide them to us. Well, how can you do that? I'll give you some insider tips. First of all, Florida has a very, very broad public records law. Anyone familiar with public records? So what that means, how you can take advantage of that, is by doing public records requests. Everything within the state of Florida at a government level is within the sunshine. So you can find out at any government agency in the state, whether it's a state agency or a local government agency, who the contractor is, how much they're charging for the services, who else bid on the contract. All of that is available. It's all public record. So you can call up my staff, you can call up, usually you go through the clerk's office. Every government agency has a city clerk or a county clerk, but you can usually go through the purchasing office also, and you can certainly do that with us. You're going to bid on a project. How do you know how much to bid? How do you know how much your competition is going to bid? How do you know how much the city has paid in the past? Again, we're open market, so we want you to do that. We want to have all of that information available because we hope that you're going to sharpen your pencils and give us the best price that's still going to give you the margin you need to be successful, but give us the best price, the best value for the residents and businesses of the city. So this is the key, and this goes back to what everyone on the dais is saying to you, the panel is saying to you. Be sure of what you really want to offer, what you do best, and then find out the needs of the government agency you want to go after. Figure out how your service or good that you provide matches up with the needs of the government agency that you're trying to get a contract with. That's really the key. And doing your homework, getting on the bid list, learning who the folks are that make the recommendations for purchasing, talking to the staff in purchasing, that's going to help you become more aware of what opportunities are out there, when these opportunities become available for you to go after them, what your competition has put in the past, so you have a better idea on how to draft your proposal, how to fill out your paperwork. The other little catch I'll tell you with government is we're sticklers, we're bureaucrats, so we're sticklers for process. So when we say you need to turn in this document and this document, make sure this document's signed, and make sure that document's signed, make sure you do it. We try and we don't do it to trick you. We do it because number one, it's a test. You know, if we're gonna hire you as a company and award you thousands or millions of dollars worth of work, we hope you can fill out the paperwork correctly up front. You know, that should be a testament to how well you can perform under the contract. But also, we need that information to be able to assess you, to be able to protect the organization, to be able to protect your company, that type of stuff. So, with all of that, that's a real big overview of how you can get into business with the city.
The issue is, everything is relative, and in this room, that's why I love doing things in South Florida, because watch this question. Anybody here from a different country? Right? Okay? So this is the thing. How hard or easy is it to get a government contract from wherever you're from? Because we have a lot of people come up, and I'll use any, Peru, okay? I'll just throw that out there. I'm not picking on Peru, we can say Jamaica, we can say any place else. If you don't have the right last name, or you're not married to somebody with the right last name, that's it for you, right? Pretty much. And we all know that because we're all grown, okay? Nobody's standing here introducing you to their employees, who all, by the way, are all their cousins, right? Okay? Then, we know there's above the table, and there's what? A lot more space under the table, right? We have here a city and a country that's saying no. You can look up and see what the other guy did and what the other woman did, and what, it's an open system, but because it's open, doesn't mean it's easy, right? So what happens is, again, I'm going to bring you back to the fundamentals, okay? You know, fellas, you ever box, ladies, you ever, you know, if you can't throw a punch, you can't box, right? I mean, just that simple. You might be able to dance and move around, but if you can't ever hit anybody, that's it. You're not going to be a great boxer. So you need to work on what? Fundamentals. Fundamentals are, in business discipline, is this. You should know what you plan to do tomorrow, next week, the week. Not that it's going to go the way you plan, but you need to have a strategic or a business plan in place. Now, we are not academics. None of us up here are academics. So we're not talking about the business plan that you use to get your MBA. Not the 150-page plan that nobody's going to read. We're talking about the 5-page summarized plan that says it all. And you're clear. Why? It keeps you honest because you've answered those questions. What am I good at? How does it help? And remember what I told you? Look for the 3 people. Well, one of those people is the City of Miramar. What can I, as a company, do to help Miramar achieve its goals? That already sets up some things I have to do. How do I get registered? Who do I need to meet? And what are the goals of Miramar? And how does my company help them? You want to be looking for a long-term, lifelong relationship, partnership with the city, especially if you live here. Because people like to complain about where they live, but they don't do a darn thing about helping the place they live. So, developing your business, okay, is about you doing some simple things. And then everything else opens up, all right? Because you're already out here, it was raining, you know, this is not the most exciting stuff to be talking about, but there's enough of you in here that means you're serious about business.